Welcome back to another new episode of A Book a Day podcast. And as you know, this week we are discussing Kalidasa's poetry, and the work is called Ritusamhara, the garland or the pageant of seasons. And so far we had discussed three seasons, starting with summer, then the rains, then autumn, and now, in this episode, I will discuss the specific season which we are entering right now, the early winter. And we'll see how Kalidasa describes this season. Mind you, this different kinds of seasons, they have been going on for centuries, and despite the climate change, you can find a lot of similarities even today. And as I said, this is pretty much where we are, so you might be able to relate with this one more easily, I would say. So let's see without any delay what's going on, how Kalidasa was seeing the early winter in those times. What's going on in nature, what's going on in society, and what is Kalidasa's perspective. So first of all, let's start with the first few lines and you'll get the idea of the farming, the vegetation, all that is going on in the early winter. So here are the first few lines. It starts with, "The spreading barley gleams with a tender green embroidery. The harvest of rice is ripening. The lodra trees are aflower, and the lilies are fading away. And so the falling dews usher the pleasant season of frost." So there it is. Few things are happening, and it's called the pleasant season of frost. You can see it. Can feel it. And then he goes on, "Like the gleaming moon, the snow or kunda bloom, the lovely rope of pearls where colorful sandal cream is mirrored, no more adorns the breasts of elegant maids." So now he shifts the focus slightly from nature, then towards the end to maids or women, how they are dressing themselves, and how the changing landscapes, changing aesthetics of the atmosphere and the emotions with it, how that change what you feel, how you experience life. And in the further few lines, he talks about more on how women, they dress themselves up, and remember how it was in summers, how it was in rains, and that is changing pretty much because as you'll see, it's slightly different here. He says, "The women of fashion no longer endure the cool touch on their arms of armlets and bracelets, nor thin smooth linen on their hips, nor on their abundant breasts the light transparent raiment." So he's also once again coming to the beauty, and I've said it way too many times that he's really brilliant when it comes to describing the feminine beauty in various aspects of it, whether it's the physical aspect or the emotional part. And he does the same, and slowly he turns his explanations, his descriptions from nature to women, then once again to nature, what's going on with the deer, in the crops, in the forests, all these things, what's going on there. And then he comes back to the lovers, how they are experiencing it. Then also he gets very intimate in his descriptions. Really sensuous experience, we have already seen that. And the kind of funny or erotic expressions he used, I mean, both funny as well as erotic. You kind of feel the sensuous nature of it, but it also makes you I laugh sometimes. It's funny that way. I will tell you the reason I say this in the next two paragraphs or next two verses that I recite here. In the first one, they talk about the art of beauty and love, and you'll see the descriptions, how beautiful they are. He says, the mouths fragrant, with the wine perfumed with flowers, and the sweet odor of the tender breath enveloping their limbs. The young slumber, couched side by side, twined in each other's arms, steeped in the luscious flavor of love. So you see how beautifully he paints the picture of lovers, they being close, they being in each other's arms. That's a beautiful romantic picture. But then you see also a bit of naughtiness here in the next four lines where he makes this description about what happens to them after that experience. So he says, to maids in the first flush of youth, the dents of teeth on their faded lips and the marks of nails on the bosom reveal the pitiless strain of love. Just look at all these expressions. Saying in the first flush of youth, what happens is there are dents of teeth on their faded lips. One, the lips are faded now after kissing, and now there are dents of teeth of lover on them. Then the marks of nails on the bosom, they are also there. And in the end, he says, it's the pitiless strain of love. So you see how beautifully, and there is something amusing about it, but it's also beautifully and such a nice description here. Just see next few lines also, and you get the similar impression. Behold the young maid, mirror in hand, making up her lotus face in the sidelong morning sun. Pouting her mouth, she scans her lips, whose essence was sucked by the lover. So once again, focusing on lips, but what happened to them after they made love. And further, in the next few lines, it gets more interesting even. Here is another maid. Her limbs are limp with love's surfeit. The lotus eyes are red with the wakeful night of rapture. The gorgeous hair lies ruffled on the drooping shoulders. She basks in the soft, delicious sunshine with the burden of sleep upon her lids, soothing her limbs in sated rest. So now the focus, even more interesting and intimate detail about limbs, how they are tired. And the specific focus on limbs, how they are aching now, it goes on for a bit. Twice or thrice he mentions this point, just like the marks of fingernails or the bites on lips. So these are very clear, interesting, specific examples he gives, and that really paints the picture of what you are witnessing in lovers, what's going on there. But remember, it's also about the season. It's just the beginning of winter season, and you want to be in the arms of your lovers. You want to feel that warmth, and that's the kind of emotion it's trying to evoke here. That's the essence of this poetry. It just captures the mood of the environment of the world outside as well as the world inside, in our own emotions. And that's how it just slowly ends. And you can see with the poetry, its mood, with the music that goes with it, the speed at which it flows. It also goes with the season itself. In the rains, when there was a lot of thunder, there was a lot of lightning, the words were different, the feeling, the emotion was different in poetry. That was a different mood. And all the pictures that were painted by the poet there, they were different. In this case, early winter, a bit quiet, romantic, but quiet, serene, tranquil. You can feel the emotion. If there is love making, it's gentle. It just goes on smoothly and slowly. So you sense that all the feeling of the weather, it's in there, and in the mind as well as bodies. So that's it for now, and I'll come back when we move on to the next couple of seasons. The next one will be the winter, and after that we'll do the final chapter, which will be on spring. So I hope you're enjoying this series, and let me know your thoughts on this, how you're liking it, if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to listen to your thoughts. So I'll catch you the next time. Thank you very much for listening. Keep tuning in, and we'll continue this work in the next episode. Bye bye.